Hello, regular viewer, loyal subscriber. Welcome back to BattleTech. It's been a long break. I'm really sorry I haven't been able to record. There have been so many things going on, from broken graphics cards to me losing my job in real life, and needing to find a new one, and with heavy heart losing my save game of the last season 1, let's say, and you can imagine after 90 episodes plus of the adventures of Jabberwock and the Slithy Toes, I'd grown rather attached to that game. I still don't know quite what to say about it, but heavy metal has dropped now. Hooray! So the game has been updated, and I've started a new campaign. So this is an introduction to the Hecatoncheires, the 100-handed company of mercenaries who are helping out the Sword of Restoration, the Lady Arano, although they haven't met her yet. Oh, spoiler alert. So, I've skipped the prologue using the settings. I have rushed through the first mission, just because I did a pretty thorough video about it last time. Took a little bit of damage on the Blackjack and the Spider. Nothing untoward, just a little bit off the armour, sufficient to reach internals. So it's week 1, day 1, brand new campaign, hardest settings. I have dialed down the numbers of pieces to build a new mech from 8 to 5, just in order to speed things up a little bit. I felt it was dragging in the first season. These things you have to learn about. And anyway, the first thing I'm going to do is to have a look in our mech bay and work out what we're going to do in order to just tweak the configurations on these to make them a little bit more robust than they are. So we'll start with the Vindicator. Here it is in all of its glory. I love these rotating models, these are great. Anyway, so let's have a look at the Vindicator. Medium mech, of course, at the light end of it, 45 tons. It's primarily a long-range mech. It has a particle cannon in the right arm and an LRM-5, which it's got decent fire support capabilities. The small laser, medium laser combo, I feel, doesn't gel very well with those settings, and I do feel that the LRM-5 is a little bit light, as I've said in previous games. So what I would typically do in this is to pop out the medium laser and small laser, and maybe upgrade the LRM-5 to an LRM-10, and then dedicate it to a fire support role, at least initially, and then we can work out what to do from there. Other than that, I think it's a reasonably solid build. It seems to lack nowhere in particular. Maybe a little in the armour department, but we should be okay. So let's start prototyping this and see what it looks like when we're done. So if we take these out and then pop this in, how far away are we from our target? 1.5 over. That might be acceptable. Because we've reduced the heat load, we could probably just drop a couple of the heat sinks out. Like this. And then make up the rest in armour. We clearly don't need that much on the back for a fire support mech. So let's take those down and max out those. Let's take that down and max out that. 0.9. Oh, got very light on the legs there. That's not good. And arms. We can take this down. Let's take that down to there. We'll protect it from a medium laser in the rear, I think, and then boost up the legs because we don't want this thing falling over. 75. Protect that as best I can. This is a shield arm, I'm happy with that. Now, heat efficiency is quite high, I'm happy with that. It's a long range mech. It's reduced its firepower a little, but to be honest we wouldn't be able to bring the medium and small laser into target range, and the boost to the LRM is going to modify that. Is 1 ton of LRM ammo going to be enough? So this gives you 120 rounds, firing them in blocks of 10 gives us 12 shots. For the early game that is going to be fine. I think our targets are going to be lightweight, so we're going to be able to terminate them pretty quickly. In the mid game we'll probably need to increase that a little, but I don't think that'll be a problem. So am I happy with this? Good solid armour all round, 75 on the legs, 55 on the shield arm. I'm okay with that. I'm going to confirm. Doesn't cost very much.
Logged and noted.
And let's go to the Shadowhawk. Right, so the Shadowhawk, a workhorse mech, 55 tonner. It has the classic 5'8" movement profile, so it's very manoeuvrable, but it only carries 3 jump jets out of a possible 5. Its weapon loadout, as I mentioned before, is incredibly diverse, like the Vindicator, covering all sorts of ranges. The problem being that none of them in the tabletop game are any good. Everything hits for 5 or so damage, and that's just not enough. There's no punch there, and not enough DPS either. So the only thing going for it really is that it's a very versatile mech, and doesn't really have that much of a way of heat build up issues. You can see here the heat efficiency is way high, so the extra heat sinks here probably not necessary. The biggest design flaw, of course, is the ammo in the center torso. So if there's only one thing you're going to change on this mech, please take the ammo out of here, because it's just a disaster waiting to happen, and I don't think that's good. So what are we going to do with this? Well, I think we're going to dump some of the weaker weapon systems. I really don't like SRM2s, I'm just going to take that out, and along with it the SRM ammo. LRM5 is not enough punch if we're going to go with it in a support role, but I think with the Vindicator as our support mech, we want this to be somewhat tanking the damage in the early games. So having done that, remove the heat sinks because we really don't need them. We have created a massive amount of capacity that we can use to do something with the rest of the weapons loadout. Now, the key thing here, I think, is that this carries a ballistic slot in the torso. If we can utilise that in a decent way, we can make it, give it some real decent direct fire punch. So what I'd like to do is to upgrade the AC5 to something a bit more potent. And funnily enough, along comes some new equipment that's dropped in the heavy metal update. So we have some AC2 bonus, AC5 bonus, AC20 with a bonus. We've got the LB5X. This changes the nature of the shooting of the weapon to be a scattergun, like a shotgun effect. So instead of doing a block of damage, so if you look here at the Defiance, 45 damage in one shot. Here, with the LB5X, it does 6 damage, but in 10 projectiles. So it could potentially do up to 60 damage, although in practice, you could say about 3/4 of that will land on target, unless you're fortunate. So the 45 damage profile is about equivalent, but the LB5X is clearly going to be more of a DPS build. It's about shredding armor, crit seeking, and in this case it does a little bit extra stability damage if that's your thing. The alternative to going shotgun is that they've introduced the UAC5, the Ultra AC5. Now this is kind of a holdover from the Star League Tech era. It effectively doubles, or potentially doubles, the firepower of an AC5. And it seems from looking at these stats, it has very little in the way of downsides to that. They suffer from substantial recoil, which isn't listed in the stats as far as I can see, and it consumes ammo at twice the rate, but of course you're doing twice the damage in a burst, so potentially up to 90 in a shot. It has 2 projectiles rather than 1, so there are going to be situations where you get the first one hitting and the second one missing. So the actual damage output of this per round is perhaps not going to be 90 per round, but it's still going to be substantially greater than an AC5, probably. So what I would like to do is to buy one of these, mount it on my Shadowhawk, give it some extra ammo, and see whether the additional punch makes the swap worthwhile. And I think I'm going to do that now.
New weapon systems available.
Okay. So going back to the Shadowhawk here, we can now drop the AC5 and then mount the UAC5. Do we need UAC ammo? Let me just check whether there's specific ammo for the UAC5 in store. Ballistics. There's separate ammo for the LBs because they have different ammunition characteristics, but it just doubles the rate it looks like. So I'm going to take some AC5 ammo from store and just pop that in. Shall I put it in the same slot? Yeah, I think that's going to be fine. I'm going to take some of our jump jets and max out its jump potential. So we've reduced the heat efficiency a little bit, but still, kept it decent. We've increased the mobility. Firepower, according to this, hasn't changed, but I think with the additional of the UAC, that's compensated for the loss of the LRM. We still got lots of space potentially to work with. Let's see how much armor we can get on. So this is going to be our tank, so we're going to want to boost this as much as we can. Maximum on the arms. That's looking pretty solid all round. I think I'm pretty happy with that. 55 tons. Looks good. Doesn't cost too much to refit, but of course we've eaten quite a substantial chunk out of our funds from making that upgrade.
On it.
Off you go.
I'll let you know when that's done.
Oh, the Locust. Well, we're not. This is our backup mech. If you can just see it above the UI, we are probably not going to be using this for anything other than those situations where I want to do a mission and one of the mechs is currently out in the early game. So what I'm going to do is strip everything off of it, maximise the armour on it, and then have a think about what support equipment we might want to build into it. It's got 3 support slots and could take 8 jump jets. I think I quite like the idea of keeping it as a running mech this time round, and then we'll just use it as a sort of a melee slugger. MG ammo, let's just pop that in the torso. Actually, let's take it back to stock and let's do this properly. So drop the medium laser. Max out the armour. What have I done here? Okay, so I think I'm going to be able to protect my back from most things, so let's just put 25s there, 25s in there. And honestly, we have to max out the the legs. So let's just borrow a couple of things. I don't want to go down to odd shots in the head. Yeah, I like that a bit better. Just do that quick.
Right. I'll get it in the schedule.
Don't need to. It's all done. It's all done, mate. Right, so checking on our mech warriors. We have the usual set here. Welcome to our commander. This is Commander Briareous, one of the 100-handed. Brie O'Donnell is a refugee from the Lyran Commonwealth. Her family was betrayed, and she has found herself in command of this paltry group of unfamiliar warriors. We have Deca, Glitch, Medusa, of course, and welcome back to, I suppose I should call her Behemoth, but I would still like to pronounce it Behemoth, but I think that's just my particular brain doing that. So, because this doesn't increase my salary at all, I can boost my own experience points totals however I like, and let's see, what's that going to give me? Indirect fire penalty, plus health, unsteady thresholds, and health is most important.
Mech warrior training complete.
Okay, let's pop to the command center. We have a half skull mission, aggressive intrusion. We can get to, we're going to accept this because it includes the travel cost to Bellerophon, and I think I want 2 pieces of salvage, but I definitely don't want to minimise the money because I need money right now.
Roger that, Commander. Course plotted.
So, let's start our first trip away. Little sip of water because my throat has been really sore. Festive greetings to everyone, by the way. It's coming up to Christmas. We're in a Christmassy mood here. The weather's getting colder, wetter, but our house is festooned with lights, red and white primarily. Much better. Okay, here goes the leopard. Right. You're on the Leopard's Bridge with Samire, Yang and Darius for the daily staff briefing. Darius says, we receive 3 messages from the banks. Loan sharks, Samire cuts in. From the people who are financing us, Darius continues. They're considering rewriting the terms of our loans, so it'll be easier to seize the ship if we miss a payment. As usual, they're only doing this because they believe we can't fight in court. Well, okay, let's roll out our negotiation skills and see if we can sweet talk the Manx. I'll talk to them. The meeting moves on. Afterwards, you record a response. You explain with much gravitas that you selected each of the banks for their prestige and reliability. Yeah, we'll take our debt elsewhere. We have a desire for a long and fruitful financial relationship. The episode of The Young Ones where Rick was forced to write a letter to the bank to ask them to extend their student loan. I believe he said something along the lines of, Dear fascist bullybags, give me some money, you bastards. May the fruit of your lines grow in the belly of your woman. Probably doesn't work as well on YouTube, does it? Anyway, we have a fair loan status. Shadowhawk's the last one to go, but we can wait for 5 days, I think, in orbit. Not yet. Let's have a look in the store if there is one. Yeah, we're going to buy a piece of one of the new mechs. The assassin has appeared. Fantastic. Javelin. Not a good looking mech. A bit too top heavy for my liking, but there we go. What do you have in here? Machine guns. Ammo. Any interesting equipment? Got some gyros here. +1 melee hit. -10% stability damage taken. And we have a leg mod as well. +5 DFA damage. It's pretty minor for 30,000, but it doesn't actually take up any space. You never know. I don't do DFA a lot, but having that might be quite fun.
Available.
Really? An MG is the only weapon here in system. one machine gun. It's just awesome. Right. Now, are we going to wait for the Shadowhawk to be ready, or are we going to run light with the Locust in tow? I think we'll just go. Good, right. Blackjack leads this line, Vindicator in support, Spider as primary scout, Locust for flanking and hitting in the rear. So Medusa is going in the Locust, Decker gets punched in the face a lot in the Spider. I am going to take my family Blackjack. Glitch in the Vindicator. Bearmoth, you're going to sit out this one. It says it's one skull. Okay, well, never mind. Half skull, one skull. It's all the same to us. So I think I'm going to try and use ballistics more in my mech designs for Season 2 than I did for Season 1. To explore the range of options for the LBX and UAC, and also because with the AC2, AC5, AC10 and AC20 as the only choices last time, being able to rock and roll with some booming cannons, it just warms my Federated Son's heart. So,
Command interface initiated.
right out in the open.
This is a hellhole.
Yes, but it's our hellhole.
Yeah.
Right, so I can sprint. Oh, look at this without the sprint bonus. Oh, just can't go very far. Right. Well, let's get some high ground over here with the snipey vehicles.
Engaging jump jets.
And Vindicator.
Ready, set.
And then let's sprint forward with the Spider. Good sprint right here. Yeah, go on then. Right. Right on top. Let's get.
Engaging jump jets.
I've turned down the voice volume because I thought it was a little bit distracting last time. Let's get the Spider running forward as fast as possible. Are you going to be able to climb down here? I don't think you are you? Nope. Great. Come all the way back. And then I'm going to send the Locust swinging around left. We haven't got much room this flank, but I think it's going to be fine. So, Decker, if I get you in close, can you get
Copy that.
signal?
Bandit.
Right. Of course, nobody is any good at sensors anymore, so all I can see is 3 mechs. I am hopeful that they are
Yep.
just light. Now, shall I move these chaps forward to this rise here? I think that's probably a good move.
Engaging jump jets.
Time to fly.
Okay, off you chaps go. Okay, so these are 2 light mechs according to the initiative order. This one is likely to be able to move forward and take a shot here, possibly even go into melee. This one's moved, so do I want to move Decker out or do I want to reserve?
Orders.
So the best you can get is 4 pips. That's going to be okay. Let's just swing out right, get some
Move into position.
visual. What do we have here? We have a 1M. The 1M is the fire support version of Locust. Fire support laughably provided by 2 LRM5s. It really suffers from a lack of armour. Look at this, it's got 5 armour on the front and LRM ammo in the centre torso. So the risk here, given that he's already moved and he doesn't have a lot of evasion built up, is that we're just going to be able to wipe him out. Yeah, the Commando is a really heavy hitting light. SRM packs, it's a very good mech. I like the Commando. It's a bit slow for a light, so it can't build up a lot of evasion, but that's not usually a problem. So let's reserve Decker for the moment. Let's see what this guy's doing. So this is a new mech. This is one we haven't seen before. And the Flea is one of the lightest mechs around. An energy boat. This one's got a large laser in it. Holy cow. I thought the Flea was smaller than that. Well, it too is lacking somewhat in armour, but that large laser, that's going to cause potentially a fair amount of headache, so we might want to prioritise that. So let's have a think. We outmass these guys considerably. 55s on there, 65s on there, and then a bucket of rubbish on there. Get all my shots on there. Then we're going to take out first. I'm tempted to take this guy out first. I'm just going to go face on with Blackjack. It doesn't have a particular dominant side.
Engaging dump-jets.
And my heat load is going to go wild on this, but that should be okay. Let's see what damage I can do here.
What can I do for you?
Well, I'm going to give you the fire support position up on top, where we are going to get some decent shots on here.
Taking the high road.
Okay, so he's nearly down. We're just going to multi-target here. 55 for the PPC. For either of these, I think we'll go for this guy. So PPC at him, LRMs for the Locust should be enough to take him down. Nice.
Orders.
Right, I can go and punch these guys, but the medium lasers, I should have swapped them out. This guy is still kicking. This guy's not been touched, presumably. This guy's lost his right torso, which means the large laser's gone. That is a relief. So with support weapons only for this guy, I'm pretty happy. I can keep away from the commando. Still get shots on the... And that flea manoeuvrability might be good for the flea, but I... Okay, we took the side off. That's good.
I hit something good.
You did, Decker. You hit something good. He's backing off. Paintwork scratch.
Yes, Commander.
Right. I don't want to be pushing the Locust into a fight at the moment. And I'm okay with him there, so actually I'm going to reserve here for the moment. These guys can act first.
Waiting for the right opportunity.
The SRM could hurt here. We'll take a bit of punishment, I think. It's not going for the missiles, it's just going for the lasers. Interesting. Okay, he's still out of range. That's good to hear. Right, so who are we going to go for first?
Yes, Commander.
So if I come here, I get line of sight on there so I can do some indirect fire bombardment, get to melee on this guy, and takes down some of his evasive pips as well. Oh, Decker!
It didn't hit. Aye, aye.
That was awful. Right, well let's just go for this chap. Let's see, on the right hand side we've got the Shram 4 Shram ammo. On the left side the medium laser and Shram ammo. And we've got the Shram 6 in the centre, also protected. Let's go the left-hand side here. No, I've changed my mind. Going the right-hand side. Now this is going to look ridiculous. Oh, there we go. 2 whiffs.
I hear ya.
Right, who can you see? Let's have a look. So we've got decent 65% PPC shot there. 40 on there. Okay, well, it's not actually improving matters much, but I like keeping the height advantage. Just boosts those
No sweat.
hit chances a little bit. Again, more multi-target here. PPC on you. LRMs on you. And yeah, we'll leave the...
No problem. I've got enough guns for everyone.
That was disappointing. There we go. Whee. Right, just keep range here. And this is where the heat load starts turning. Can we do this with 2 ACs off? We can. Let's do precision strike. Just to boost out. Do we need it for? No, we don't. We don't need it for the hit chance. So let's see what we can do. Ooh, unfortunate.
Enemy mech. Critical damage detected.
Okay, I see what you were going for then.
What's up, boss?
Let's see if we can land at least 1 punch, shall we?
Putting my weight into it.
Okay. Acceptable. Ooh, that looked right in the vital area. Ouch.
Damage minimal.
Waiting for orders.
Right. Come on, Medusa. You can do it. Nice. 15 damage. Oh, it's turning into a brawl. That attack animation is awesome.
Damage is light.
Ah, that was good. I enjoyed that.
Good to go.
Right, who can we see? Ooh, overheat alert. Desert biome. Okay. Let's take the learn 10 off.
Here we go. That would be a miss.
Yes, it was. So we could back off and still get shots on. Take the AC2s off. Don't see any point. Well, then there's no point not. I've got a rear shot here. That is very tempting. And this will benefit from a precision strike. Just put it in the middle. There we go. Impressed with the flea. That looked pretty good, actually.
Ready for orders.
Okay. Shall I brawl? No, I mean shooting is just going to do so much more damage, so... It just doesn't hit as well. Well, that's fine.
Confirmed. Inflicted some heavy damage.
That's... I think it should reduce its melee capabilities if you've knocked its arms off. Anyway, let's see what we can do here.
Targeting. Attack.
Thank you, Medusa.
Waiting for orders.
Right. Let's just land something on him. Even if it's just a few missiles. I probably don't need to move, actually, to take this guy out. Let's see what we've got. What if one of these AC2s hits? Again, precision strike, there's no point not. Just go for the middle.
Enemy mech destroyed.
Okay,
Mission successful.
clinical. 4 against 3, but we massively outweighed them. Got some cash, that's nice to have. 2 kills for Briareous, well done. Medusa getting up. Nothing penetrating, so no injuries, no, that's a good start. Right, so we can pick up 2 pieces of salvage. These weapons are not really worthy. Here we have the 20-ton flea, which I was impressed with, and the commando, and I'm happy with those. And I got everything, of course. It being the way of the world, I should have realised that. Well, so welcome back. Thank you very much for sticking around. Thank you and welcome to our new subscribers. I look forward to catching you on the flip side. Take care. Bye.